and welcome to or back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a final look at the apartment that I remodeled. I did a video on this a while back. We just got the last appliance in today. We got the fridge in today, so it's finally complete and we've actually already found a tenant for it. I just wanted to give you guys a final look at the place and show you what we did because a lot of our plans did change. We didn't keep to what we said exactly, and I do want to go over the costs of everything also. Let's just get started and I'll show you around. Okay, so starting from the outside, here is the front room. Pretty much the only thing we did to the front room was paint, and we had the whole floors refinished. We were planning on replacing all the floors to some vinyl or laminate floors, probably laminate, but we decided not to for a few reasons. One main one was someone who commented on my last video told me that it would have been sacrilege to get rid of these beautiful hardwood floors, and I totally agreed. When we first talked to the floor guy, they said that they couldn't save these floors because they were already shaved down super thin after being refinished so many times. But then after talking to someone else, they did say that they think they can do it. So what we did was we had these floors refinished and they did it, and we put a sort of matte finish on it. We didn't want it too shiny, but I honestly think we could have gone a little bit shinier if there was like a semi-gloss. I think that would have looked nice. But I do like how the floors turned out because I love this natural wood color so much. So I'm glad we didn't get rid of them and move to the vinyl because that would have been pretty sad because these are really nice floors, but that probably means this is kind of their last straw and they probably can't be refinished again after this, so they got to be taken really good care of. Good thing we got a good tenant who loves the place and will hopefully take really good care of them. And so here is the price of the floors. Okay, so other than that, we had the whole place painted, all white. We also got new blinds for most of the windows, and these ones are super simple and you can just push them up or pull them down, which just makes it really easy, and you can kind of make them sort of disappear, so it's like they're not even there if you want to show everything. But then at night, or if you want some privacy, you can just pull them down. But it's kind of nice to be able to have all the light come in without them, but then have the option of having them, so I really like those. In the second room is where we made most of the changes because there was a hole here in the wall to go to the closet. And so I had this idea to get rid of it because I wanted tenants to be able to choose if they wanted to put their bed in that front room or the second room, because there was not really a spot in this room to put a bed or even a couch. So they couldn't really choose which one they wanted to be a living room and which one to be a bedroom because it's kind of not really clear in this unit. So there was an opening to the closet here that got closed off and just made it look like it's one wall, which is nice. What we did to get access to the closet was we opened this section from the bathroom side. There's a lot more perimeter space in this room now that can be used for furniture. Okay, so the bathroom is another place that we did a lot of changes. We retiled the floors, retiled the entire shower. We got a new vanity for the sink so that there's some storage in here, and we got new faucets and new chrome hardware, so it looks really shiny and new, and I think it turned out really well. It's just really simple, not too expensive materials, but it looks fresh and clean, and that's what matters because that's what a tenant's looking for. And now onto the kitchen. Instead of our plan of redoing all the kitchen cabinets and getting new ones that were a little more modern and up to date, we decided to stick with the cabinets we had, but I'm sure as you can see in the video from before, they were a disgusting yellowy wood color. So we just had the cabinets repainted to white and we put new hardware on them and freshened them up, and honestly they look like brand new cabinets. They weren't super old and they're in really good condition. Like the drawers open well and the doors open well and close well and smoothly, so they honestly feel pretty new anyways. So I think it was a good way to save a lot of money in painting them instead of getting new cabinets, because cabinets are extremely expensive for what they are. So that was one place we really wanted to cut the cost. Another thing we did was we got a new countertop because we had some ugly old granite countertop here. We got something that looks like marble, but it's quartz. Quartz maintains itself way better than marble, and it's so much easier to take care of. Marble is easily stained, so that's why we went with quartz, but we wanted it to look like marble, so we got something as close as we could get to marble. We also added a really nice backsplash, and we just used some simple subway tiles. We didn't want to go with white because everything else was already white, but we still wanted to keep it sleek and modern, so we got some light gray tiles for the backsplash, and it kind of picks up from the countertops too. And then, like I said, we added a dishwasher. There was no dishwasher here before, and it's actually really interesting. What they did was we used one of the doors from a cabinet that was here and moved it to right next to the stove because that just kind of balanced it. Before it was ending where the stove was and there was nothing after that. It kind of makes it look like the stove fits in better in the kitchen and actually has its spot. Whereas before it kind of looked like it was floating on the end. We also got a new hood, all new stainless steel appliances. So this oven is brand new. It's very nice. I actually really like it. Turned out really well. It's a Samsung oven. We also got a brand new fridge, stainless steel. This is what just arrived and I'm really excited about it. It looks really nice and it fits pretty perfectly in the space that was already here in the kitchen cabinets. And then for the sink, we got a new faucet and sink, all new, so freshened it up a lot and made sure that the sink is inside the countertop because whenever you have a sink that goes over it, it's just hard to clean up. And it's so nice and easy to just swipe things into your sink and then flush them down and use your garbage disposal. Another thing was that since we were keeping the flooring in the rest of the apartment, we couldn't just extend that flooring into here. It would have been really difficult to match it, and also we were kind of hesitant to have hardwood floor in the kitchen because that's easily damaged with water. So we found some flooring that we kind of thought went with the kitchen. Honestly, we didn't really know what to use for the flooring, and what we used kind of goes well with the colors of the rest of the kitchen. But thinking back, I actually ended up seeing something else that I would have preferred for the kitchen later, but it was kind of a rush because everything was getting done and we needed to choose something for the floors. But I honestly think they're not bad at all, and they look simple, clean, and they seem really easy to keep clean also because there's not a ton of grout. So yeah, I'm really happy with how the kitchen turned out. I think it looks really fresh and clean and new, even though it's not really completely new. We tried really hard to keep the charming, original Mediterranean 1920s style that this whole building already has. And so we kept most of the built-in shelves, for example, these ones. And then also these ones, and we kept all the drawers, and we just updated them with newer hardware so that it kind of matched the kitchen and the whole vibe of everything else that we updated. So, new hardware. Same old shelves and drawers. So for the most part, we really wanted to maintain the classic charm of this unit, but we just wanted to update it a little bit. And I think we did a pretty good job at keeping the charm and integrity of the place, but the main things that really needed to be updating, like the kitchen and the bathroom, are all cleaned up now and much more comfortable for a tenant to live in. And I just wanted to give a little note and say that the tenant who is coming in here is super excited to move in. You know, he's been coming in, taking measurements, seeing where he's going to put his couch, where he's going to put his bed, and he loves what we did. He's really grateful that he has this wall and is able to either put his couch along here, that's what he thinks he's going to do, or his bed, and he could use this as a bedroom if he wanted to. So he's really glad that this is closed off now, and he loves the backsplash in the kitchen, he loves the subway tiling, and he loves that it's not super modern, but everything's clean and fresh here. He loves the hardwood floors, so I'm so glad that we kept it. We ended up leasing it out for $2,100. I think we did really well. I think our goal from the last video was to get it for $2,200, but that wasn't even taking into consideration all that's going on right now with the pandemic. The leasing market is a lot different now after, you know, a lot of people have lost their jobs. They're looking for cheaper places. They're moving in with roommates or with their families. And so it makes it a lot harder to get what the rent that you wanted before. So I think it is a really tough time for a lot of people, and that's affected the leasing market too, I've noticed. And so I'm really happy that we were able to get pretty much the same price that we were looking for before. So I think we did a great job, and I'm excited to see the tenant move in and furnish the place and I know that this tenant's going to take really good care of it because he's super, super excited about it, and that's exactly what we wanted in the end, was to get someone who's going to take really good care and be a great tenant because they love the place. So I'm really happy how it turned out. One thing I really do want to mention also is that we had quite a lot of trouble with our first contractor that we had doing most of the work. He was delaying the progress quite a lot, and it was just taking so long to get things done. And that's one of the reasons that this is just being done. We're planning on having this done, I think, in May, and having it rented out in May, and it's already August now. So we ended up switching contractors, and that caused a huge delay, and dealing with getting a lot of work done is actually really not easy. I haven't had much experience in it, but I've also learned that it's really not easy, and it's hard to work with people and get people who are going to do a good job for a good price and get it done quickly. Those are three things that are really hard to get in one person. You always have to kind of compromise either on time, quality, or on the price. So yeah, we kind of compromised on time, which is not the best because time is money for us too, because if we could have gotten this rented out sooner, we could have already started collecting rent on it earlier. So it is what it is, but we did have some hiccups on the way, like most people do in construction. So here is a snapshot from the initial video where I was just planning on what I was going to do to renovate the apartment. So don't mind my face in this, it's just a snapshot. And here's a breakdown of the costs that I estimated it was going to take to renovate the place. And so for the kitchen, I expected it was going to cost $8,000, but we only ended up spending $4,500, and this is probably to do with the fact that we didn't change the cabinets and we just painted them. So we saved a lot there. And then in the bathroom, we expected that to cost about $2,500, and it only costed us $1,500, which is really great. I think the only change in the plans was that we didn't get a new bathtub, but I guess I kind of overestimated there, which never really happens usually, so that's good. And then for paint, we spent about $700 on paint, pretty much on point. And then for the flooring, we expected to spend $1,500, but we only spent $900, and this has to do with the fact that we didn't end up getting rid of the hardwood floors and replacing it with vinyl. We just refinished the hardwood floors. I honestly think if we replaced it with vinyl, it was going to cost a lot more than $1,500, so thank God we didn't do that. And then for labor, we only expected to spend $10,000, and we ended up spending $15,000. And so we way underestimated how much labor was going to cost. This was honestly the hardest thing to deal with for the whole project, was with workers. They just were super, super slow and would try to charge for their time. So when they were slow and taking so long to do things, one, that was not what I wanted. I wanted to get this done fast, but also they would charge more because it took them longer, but that was just because they were slow. So this got dragged out a lot, and we ended up spending a lot, and we switched contractors in between. So we really, I think, did not do well in that department. But in the end, our total came out to be $22,600, which was literally exactly on point with what we expected to spend. I don't know how that happened, even though the categories kind of got switched around with what we spent more on and what we spent less on. It ended up being just about right. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. That also usually does not happen. I was honestly expecting that we would have spent more than expected. I really, really planned on trying to spend as little in each category as possible. So I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to stick to these really narrow budgets. But it worked, I guess, in the end, even though we ended up spending a lot for labor and a lot less in the kitchen. It kind of balanced out. So I'm pretty happy with how we did. What do you think? Do you think I could have done this for less? And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have any questions or comments on what we did, or any suggestions of what you think we should have done differently, let me know in the comments below. I would love to do more videos like this. I'm sure we're going to get more units that need to be renovated, so let me know if you want to see more like this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!